This is going to be a really genuine post, you guys, because it took me so many years to realize this. And it's probably something people already know, so it's just me. But also, there are people out there who probably want to find this out too, or it might resonate with you. My whole life, I wanted to do good and I wanted to help people. And I was getting so many blessings. God was just giving me so many blessings in my life because I cracked the code of where it came from and who to thank and everything like that. And then it got to a point where I wanted to see how amazing this manifestation was, all coming from God. And I actually had a question about why people become so evil and bad, because I'm from Bosnia, so it was really hard to grow up hearing about what happened and being able to integrate that into my brain. Like, how could people do such a thing? Because I had an emotional response to it, obviously, and I'm an emotional person, which I don't think is a bad thing. I've learned to master my emotions, actually. But I'm an emotional person and highly empathetic from the objective standpoint, because I take it on. Like, I take it on and I become that. And it's actually caused a lot of feelings of despair. So even though we shouldn't despair, I've struggled with waves of it when I was young. And it happened to be that I actually asked for a challenge that was so bad that I wouldn't even see a way out. And I was like, you know how strong I am, God, you know, like how mentally resilient I am, so mentally resilient. And he actually, and I said, don't let it be physical, because I just don't like anything like that. And then I said, but bring me out of it when it's last minute. And then 6 months later, I went through severe PTSD because my plane got caught in a sandstorm, blah, blah, blah. And I just could not deal with it at all. Like, the amount of turmoil that was in that moment was so crazy. Like, you just become, like, you just remember you don't want to go, you're not ready to go, but you feel like there's this overwhelming force. I heard this angry voice in my head that you deserve it. And every time the plane shook, I felt like God was angry with me. And I thought, well, that you know, I thought that was true, but obviously God doesn't do that. That's our own selves. That's why God doesn't really punish us. He created the laws, and then consequences occur from not abiding by his laws. We don't have like a dictator God. We have a God that is fair and just, because he's made these divine laws happen, and there's nothing that can work outside those laws. They're set, except for like his will. But his wisdom is higher, so it still falls under his laws of creation. So anyway, fast forward, I actually am just trying to get to the point where I say that essentially what I'm trying to say is, I realized that maybe a part of me thought there was something noble or special about suffering. I didn't think that I had an ego, and then I was chasing. I wanted to be great. Like, I wanted to leave a legacy. Like, I wanted to be someone more than just what I look like and all that stuff and my blessings. I felt guilty because I wasn't really more than that. I had everything I wanted. I remember that feeling. I was like, I have everything I want. So why would I live my life just getting things I want to help? I just learned one lesson. You can also, and you should be, helping people through what Allah gives you as a blessing. So instead of trying to be special, trying to seek validation from God or anyone else, or if you have any issues with self-worth that you might not know, like you don't think you do, but you realize you do, don't go down that road. It's literally about enjoyment and aligning. Just align with who you are and what makes you happy. That's it. Everything else is literally not worth it, because it can eventually become your enemy, as I've realized. So there's nothing noble in suffering. There's nothing noble about being a victim. And I only came to that realization because I obviously struggled with a lot of flashbacks, and I felt really unwell for a really long time. And I couldn't work out what it was because I'd be too afraid to go on planes and everything. And now I'm like, oh, I see. It was kind of, I didn't get what I wanted because it was just getting what I wanted. I got a lesson out of it. So, Islam is about so much more than just what people think it is. So remember, ask for good things, because if you think about it, you can help people by spreading light and joy, because blessings are exciting and they're joyful. So if you have a test and a hardship, that will come, but there's a reason for that. Oh, and the last element was, I wanted to help people if I suffered so I could help people too. And we don't just help people through, we don't just help people through having suffered and being able to know how to help them because we suffered. Because if you suffer in a challenge or a test that God gives you, you should be able to get yourself out of it with God's help. There are people to assist you, but if you're seeking someone else's help, it's really you seeking the help. They're not really helping you. You are. God is helping you through aligning that purpose. It's his divine law that happens. So I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to say. But it was just a realization for me literally just before. So enjoy.